recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Hello! Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week's guest is someone I met all the way back in junior high. We both played football for the Cascade Spartans. But it wasn't until high school when we started hanging out. It was during this time that we both discovered our mutual love for old rock bands like the Beatles and Bowie and ELO. And we'd spend countless hours just listening to music and searching for new jams to add to our super awesome mixtapes. I miss mixtapes. Anyway, and this guy, he's here to discuss some of the good old days. Oh, it's gonna be fun. So lock your seatbelts, because I brought you a present. Oh, I brought you a present. It's been handed down from generation to generation. But it's my pleasure to welcome to the show the one they call the Big Jabita, making his debut appearance. Yes, give it up for Mr. Big John Rajcich. All right, John, welcome to the show, man. How you been?
Oh, doing pretty good, bro. Had a little rough night last night. I decided to water my sock down with some vodka. It might be a little slow, but that's pretty much the usual.
You watered down a sock with vodka? What?
Sake.
Oh, sake. So, okay.
A little too sweet. Trying to take the edge off.
Awesome. Well, did you get buzzed?
Well, I did get a little rug burn from waking up on the floor, so I don't know about a buzz. Kind of went too fast to get that buzz.
Oh, God. Okay, well, it sounds like a good night.
Yeah, I definitely went good night real quick.
Success. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Well, so are you wearing the Pokemon onesie that you promised you'd wear for the interview?
Oh, yeah, man. I just had to slap it on. I'm out in the cold room, so I need that extra warmth.
Oh.
And that extra comfort.
How's the weather there? It's
nice, sunny, actually. And so it's nice, brisk, cool air. Best time of year, in my opinion, in Seattle.
Yeah. It just started cooling off here, too. It's pretty nice out. It's like summer in Seattle here now. So, yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So
that's a relief for you.
Yeah. So, John, we haven't spoken in a while. When's the last time we spoke on the phone?
Oh, dude, on the phone? I don't even think we had phones last time we spoke.
That's true. Yeah. So, wait, when's the last time we spoke in person?
10-year reunion, high school.
Wow, dude, that's
2004.
Oh my God, dude, that's crazy. When did you get married, or when did you start dating your? Because I swear met your
about two. Yeah, it was like a couple years before the reunion. So it's probably we started dating about 2003, I think.
Wow, that's wild. That is wild. Yeah, because I remember I met her once, but I don't know what year that was. Maybe was that like the same time?
That was at the reunion.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, because I didn't actually go to the real reunion. I just went to the bar or whatever.
The fun one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't go to the other one either. I went to the fun one. I was like, F that. I ain't paying for that.
Yeah, because they didn't
get a burger and some drinks.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Because they wanted I don't know what they wanted, like $100 or something like that. I was like, $100? I'm like, I mean,
no thanks.
I'd like to see, John and John? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so you and your now wife, how long have you guys been married now?
Oh boy. We don't really count the years anymore. So I don't know. It's probably waited 5 years. So it's probably about 2010.
Oh, okay.
It's been over 10 years. I know that.
And did you guys meet in college or?
No, I met her at this coffee shop when I moved to Seattle.
Whoa.
It's like typical Seattle, like boring Seattle meeting. Oh yeah, met at a coffee shop.
Wow. Yeah, it's very
half
Seattle.
The people here.
That's very Seattle. Very, very Seattle.
But the twist was I wasn't drinking coffee. I was drinking tea. So That was special. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So were you like a regular or something? And
oh yeah, one of my best friends from college worked there, so I just would go there every day and just hang out. It's kind of nice. I had my own nickname.
What was the nickname? You've had a lot of nicknames, by the way.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, they call me Johnny Spice because I got the spiciest chai and I drank it straight like a man.
Okay, dude, so like some people will put like cream in it or something like that, but you're just like straight up.
Nope. Yeah, it was like, give it to me straight.
Dang.
I would have got it on the rocks if I could have. Sounded real cool, but
right.
I wanted it hot.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I like stories like that. Especially, that's a different one. Now you hear a lot of stories about, I don't know, I met on whatever dating site or I met at a bar.
Grinder?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if Daniel's on there, but
I tried that once. I tried that online dating.
Oh yeah,
not Grinder.
Yeah,
not yet. I haven't tried that yet. We'll see. I still got a little bit of life to live.
Yeah, is it love on the rocks already or what? What's going on over there?
No, we're doing good.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Gotta keep an open mind.
Yeah. Well,
I tried that online dating, man. It was too weird for me.
It is weird.
That was back in the early days. It was, you remember The Stranger?
Yeah.
The magazine? Well, they had one.
No way.
And I think I was still using freaking free AOL CD-ROM online where you get all those free CDs in the mail, and then as soon as you burn through one, you get another one. Different account. Yeah.
Wow. And then you tried
a few
online.
Women on there and was not a fan.
Yeah, the Stranger is kind of a different magazine too. I mean,
oh yeah.
So going back, we technically met I guess technically in junior high, right?
Yeah, that's the weird thing is we went all through junior high, but I don't remember ever hanging out with you in junior high. It was not till 10th grade.
I mean,
when we had Mr. Bliss.
Yeah. I mean, we were aware of each other, like in school, like in junior high, because we both played football. And when I say play football, like I'm using quotations in the air for myself. I played football, but did you play in high school at all, or did you play the sophomore year, or did you just play?
I played sophomore year, and then I decided to quit because it was cutting into my Super Mario 64 time.
Right, and music, listening to, and stuff like that. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Hanging out in the basement.
You're right. So we met in Mr. Bliss's class. It's kind of like Saved by the Bell, but like the male version. We were in Mr. Bliss's class, and
yeah.
So just explain that guy. Like he was kind of like the big wrestling coach who was like recruited.
Yeah, man. He had 2 cauliflower ears from wrestling too hard. Yes. Yeah, I couldn't stop staring at them things. What did he teach? History?
Yeah,
all I can remember is cauliflower ear.
Right. And like I had do you remember what I used to do to like screw around with that guy?
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite. I tell this to people to this day. Your little, we were watching you alien drawing.
Yes! I can't believe you remember that. Yeah,
and then you throw it away every day. And you dig it out of the garbage after class and put it back on his desk the next day.
He wouldn't even think of anything of it. He'd just look at it and glance at it and go and like shake his head and then just drop it in the garbage. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go get that. Like as soon as he, and like every single day, every day. Yep. And I'm like, isn't he just like, doesn't he wonder or anything about this? No, just
dude. He probably had some interfered. Just didn't want to have us smell it.
Yeah, right. That was awesome. Just a picture of an alien, and we are watching you. I wonder if I have a picture of that somewhere. I don't know. I could probably.
I bet he's talked to it with his counselor about it at least once or twice. After that, I would have.
I should recreate that picture and find out where he lives and send it to him, or just take a picture of it and then send it to like his Facebook inbox. I mean, if he's still around, I don't know where he is.
Oh, geez. But I know that's weird. Thinking all of our teachers are either super old or gone by now.
Oh, I know. I had this one teacher at. I don't know if you had the same guy. Maybe you were in the same class. Remember like that that John C. Hanscom? He was like he had to be he was like 80 years old back in like 1994. So they're like, there's a pretty good possibility that he's not with us anymore. But that guy was
he reminded me of the Colonel, KFC Colonel kind of.
The Colonel. He kind of reminded me of like Mr. Burns from It's The Simpsons. He's
Yeah.
a pretty old dude. I don't know.
So I didn't have that teacher. That was at Green River.
Right.
I didn't have him, but you told me so much about him. I skipped class one day and went to it with you. And I drew pictures of the whole class because I didn't have to take notes, and that was fun.
And you could hardly understand me. You're like, show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is he talking about? Does anybody know what he's talking about? I don't know. Just as long as you take notes during his movies that he would show, and then he would like give you quizzes after that, which I learned a lot in his classes because it was all just movies. That's all he would do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Dang, I took the wrong class.
Yeah. So.
I swear, almost 90% of the classes I took at Green River, I learned nothing.
Yeah. Well,
weird. It was like after the class was over, I was like, I don't even remember what that was even about.
Yeah. I mean, that's junior college for you, you know? I mean,
yeah, cheap credits, cheap education.
Exactly. So, but so we had Mr. Bliss's class, and is that the only class we had to have had other classes, or was that it? I don't know. I don't remember.
This is kind of the first one. We sat by each other and
we would draw like pictures.
Noticed we were the same kind of goofy.
Yeah, I think that
music.
I for some reason, I don't know, maybe it was like that we were both wearing a Beatles shirt or something like that, and you're like,
oh yeah,
you like the Beatles?
Could have been.
Like, yeah, I like the Beatles. Hell yeah, I like the Beatles. And I don't know, I think I came over to your place one time, maybe for lunch or something. I have no idea, because you lived like
lunch at school. Everybody go to my house and eat top ramen and chili.
Yeah. So I just remember, thinking your parents' house was like one of the coolest places ever, because it was almost kind of like going to a bar or something like that. Like,
yep.
They had like this big giant pinball machine. They had like a life-size dartboard with big screen TV, a whole wall of booze. Big stereo system, awesome view of the street for like people watching.
All the bar lights.
Yes.
All the like neon signs and
yeah, it was awesome. I was like, whoa, this is awesome, dude. Like, I know I can't go into a bar right now, but why go into a bar when you could just go to John's house? And and then you go in the back, and there's like the big back deck, and then there was the basketball hoop, and then behind that though was the high school football stadium.
Yeah, man,
that was awesome. So on Friday nights, the entire place would be like lit up from all the lights. And you'd hear like all the the roaring from all the fans. Like, I don't know, like it didn't matter on Friday nights because everyone was partying anyways. But I don't know how anybody could sleep if you're like around that place, because back then the team was good for a while. People were at the games
the whole time, like for probably about 5 years. We were like, Auburn was amazing.
Yeah, but without a doubt, the best thing about your old place was the basement.
Oh, of course.
And Sean and I talked about this in the first episode with him, and and it was almost like an apartment like down there.
I know, man. It was cool because my sisters are older than me, and they moved out, and they had rooms down there. But once they were gone, they were 6 years older, and my other sister was 4 years older, but she went into the military. And so, man, I had that whole place to myself after that.
Dude, it was so awesome. And like, and it really kind of was like that 70s show, but cooler.
Totally.
Again, I think I said this before, except minus the cute girls on that 70s show.
The only cute girls were the posters on the wall.
Yeah. Exactly. But and down there, like next to your room, there was like the laundry chute. And you open it up, and there's that creepy clown picture in there.
Dude, that came with the house.
Dude, that's extra creepy. Why did you not were you scared to take down the clown? What was with the clown? You don't even know?
We left it because we thought it was like funny scary, but I think we never took it out because we probably secretly were worried it would like
it goes with the
activate
house.
A curse or something. You know what the wildest thing was? I went back there with my wife, Becky, quite a few years back still, but I went into that laundry chute, pulled the door shut, and was going to scare my wife, and I heard her coming, and then I heard her say, "Oh, I'm out of here." She got too scared that I was going to jump out, and she ran upstairs. I was locked in that thing with that dang clown.
Dude, it was it could be creepy down there. especially like late at night when everything's like dead silent. It's dark out, and it's already dark down there. And, we made scary movies and stuff down there because it was easy to do. It's like kind of like a creepy like setting, you have creepy clowns and you have like,
and then all the costumes that we had.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was
making
fun,
a scary monster costume out of a couple trash bags.
I still
was that the freak of nature? The freak of nature.
Yeah, that was good stuff. It was fun, man. But one of the things that I remember most about like hanging out was our shared passion for music. Our shared
Definitely. passion
for music. When I think of certain bands, I really think of certain people. Like music is very kind of like, it makes you think of certain things and certain times.
Definitely.
The ones that remind me of you especially are like David Bowie and ELO and the Beatles and, all their solo stuff. We really got into like really studying almost like all these bands and stuff like that. And it was fun to like, we go to these record stores and just spend hours.
Golden Oldies.
Yes.
Was that Golden Oldies? Dude, that was so fun.
That's awesome. Golden Oldies.
Thrift store, collecting records.
Yeah, dude. And into like bands like Devo and They Might Be Giants. Like I didn't know who.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who they were until I met you, and you're like Particle Man. Yeah. Like I was like, what is this? In Istanbul was Constantinople. That was good stuff, right?
Yeah.
There. Good stuff. And then and then bands that we discovered like. When they were coming out and stuff like that, like, Weezer and Presidents.
Oh, yeah, man.
Foo Fighters.
You told me about them, and then we go get the album.
Right.
But this is before you could listen to the album. You had to buy it on, like, faith.
Remember,
like, I had a lot of terrible albums.
Yeah.
The Warehouse. Was it Warehouse? You could go and they'd open the new CD for you and let you preview it, and we'd be like,
yeah.
I don't like this, and we'd leave and go buy it somewhere else that was cheaper.
Yep, totally. Because we're like, okay, well, we could buy it for $22 at this place, or
it's so expensive.
We could listen to it here, and then we could go down the street and buy it for $11.99. So
yep,
yeah. And
Circuit City.
I don't think we were the only ones that were doing that, by the way. So
I'm pretty sure we abused it more than most people because we'd go in there in a group, carload of people. We'd each grab like 10 albums. And we'd all listen to them and be like, oh, dude, you got to check this one out. Then we go down to Circuit City and buy them down there.
That is so true. That is so 100% true. That is awesome.
That's probably why that place isn't around anymore.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It turned into a used CD store because we opened all their new stuff.
Oh, my God. That is awesome. Yeah. I remember like there was like certain CDs that we'd always walk by. I think I remember... Remember was it the Refreshments or they had that super cool like album cover. And it was like, you could look like a pinup girl or something like that. It's like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, that looks so cool. And then I listened to it and I was like, it's all right. I mean, it's okay. But I was like, I really like the album cover.
I know.
And that was like some of the things that like, I loved going to your place. Like your older sister, Cheryl, like had a bunch of albums that were there. Yeah. And we could like rummage through her like collection. And then we would get into like vinyl and stuff like that. I'm like, I always remember how good ABBA's SOS sounded on vinyl.
Oh man.
I don't know why. Yeah. For some reason, like that song on CD, like sounded just okay, I guess. But on vinyl, I was weird. Like, dude, this sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. I don't know. I just
recently got a record player myself, like a decent one.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to collect records again. I don't have any of my old records. I have no clue where they went. So I'm like, dang, gotta start over. Yeah. And now they're like $22 to buy them new.
Dude, it was I was like talking about this with Lee, how I was collecting records as people were like unleashing them at garage sales and thrift stores and all this stuff. It's funny. I got this, there's this Bob Dylan, I think it's his first album. And I got it for $1 and it was like mint. I was like, this looks like it's like never been opened like ever. Right. And I went to this record store last year. It was in Scottsdale. And I go in there and I was like, oh, they have new albums. Right. So they have like, all the new reprinted albums. And I see that album and I pull it up and I go, whoa, I bought this for $1. And I look at it. This is not a joke. It was $52. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
What? A reprint of Bob and I laughed and I just put it. I think I took a picture of it and then I put it back in. I was like, that's hilarious. So,
oh man,
yeah. So I was just like kind of like laughing. I mean, I'm like, I don't know if like I would buy that for $2, let alone $52. I don't know.
Well, what about at the thrift store? We'd find like all those one-hit wonder groups like Andy, Kim.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, we'd buy their albums and they'd be like, whoa, they actually got 2 decent songs on here. This should be a 2-hit wonder at least.
Rock Me Gently. It sounds like a Neil Diamond song. Yeah, that was good. That's good stuff right there. Yeah, that was fun, man. Yeah, I loved like hanging out with you because like you were into the same weird shit as me, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of more into this music kind of thing as I love football, but like part of the reason you quit football, remember how much like the coaches would recruit you? Man, you're like, man, they are on my ass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you're kind of like a gentle giant. So or back then you were, you were like a big dude, right? So like, obviously they want you to play football, right? Yeah. So they would always be like, you're like, man, the coaches asked me again. Like, I don't want to play football. I don't want to like, I'm tired of hitting people. I'm like, I get it. I get it, man.
I just hated being the offensive line. And if I should have just stuck up for myself and said, hey, either make me tight end.
Yeah, right.
Where I can plow some dudes, or just leave me on defense.
Yeah, you could catch, dude. You were pretty good, dude. We were all pretty kind of like athletic.
I could outrun Danny. Yeah. Dan Marsh.
And like nobody wants to tackle like so like what was how big were you back then? You're like 6'4", like I don't know what you were like.
No, that's Ethan height. I was like 6'3", so I was a little smaller than him.
Okay, 1 inch off, sorry.
265.
Yeah, you're a big dude, man. So like people aren't looking to, tackle Big John over here. We're like, oh, that's John. Oh, John just caught a pass. Okay, well, see you later, John. Have a good run. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to that.
7 points.
Yeah, exactly.
7 points for you.
Yeah. So, and you had like old cool stuff down in that basement too, like you had that old stereo. Whatever happened to that old stereo? Do you still have that old stereo?
Oh, I wish. That thing's just huge. It weighed about 500 pounds. We sold it to some guy, or maybe we gave it to him for free. I think we put it on Craigslist.
Damn. Because like some of that stuff now.
8-track player.
Yeah, like it lit up. It like, it's like one of those things where you're like, back in the 70s, they had like, cool looking stuff,
Yeah.
And like in the 80s, like you had to make things work, but it was almost as
style.
Cool. Yeah, it was almost like just as cool to have like something that looked cool,
Everything was furniture. Like your TV was so heavy, it was furniture.
Exactly.
Your stereo was a coffee table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that thing was big, dude.
We actually used that quite a bit when I was younger, elementary years. Have like Michael Jackson on record, Cyndi Lauper. Right. I remember my stepsister could moonwalk on her roller skates. I thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw.
That is cool. What is it? Do you remember the first album that you ever bought? Like with your own money?
Let's see. Yes, it was Beastie Boys License to Ill on CD when we finally converted to CD.
That's awesome because I remember a lot of people, our generation, that is like the first tape or CD that like we ever bought. Like I bought that for $5 off someone, like a cassette in elementary. Yeah, it's
back
pretty
when
awesome.
You could trade stuff. Well, I'll trade you this album for 10 Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember my first album I asked for my birthday was Run DMC Raising Hell.
Oh.
And I think I was in 5th grade when it came out. And I was afraid to ask for it because of the word hell. So I spelled it out to my mom. I was like, Hell.
I still remember that, like that card that you made that one time. It was like, well, I didn't have time to go to the store, so I just made this card. And it was like, the front of it, you had like, you said happy, and then it was like ... and then you had like all the boxes that you checked. Like it was like birthday, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, and then you mark the one that it was. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I made all kinds of cards. I still do.
That's hilarious, dude.
Sometimes you just make better stuff than what's in the store. You can only buy this, the dog farting out bubble gum so many times before you send it to the same person twice.
Exactly. Oh, God.
I think probably my favorite Like, you really got me into I mean, I like the Beatles, but you really got me into them. I'd be like, whoa, I like this song. And you'd be like, all right, just wait, tomorrow I'll bring you something. You're like, okay. You'd show up with this mixtape.
Oh,
and it would blow my mind because you would fade songs from one to the other. You'd put little trivia facts in there. It's like, holy crap, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, that was fun because like my dad like taught me how to do that because like he was, he worked in like radio and stuff like that. So like he had one of those boards, those mix boards, and then we started making mix tapes.
Yeah, that was awesome. Or we'd have competitions to see who could mix the worst song in. Be like playing Hadaway. One album, then we'd mix it into John Denver, and we'd run back to your room and grab another CD and hide it, and put it in the player to see who could mix the worst song in.
I remember
put Halloween screams in them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't you dare touch me! Stop it! No. Yeah. No. There was like this one time. It was like one of my most proud moments that I had was when we took Neil Young's Old Man. And then we mixed in Adam Sandler. He's like, the goat.
So good.
The goat.
Yeah.
I wish I could good. I should redo that. Like, and I don't know what I'd do with it, but it was funny to us.
Put it on for people to hear.
Right. Post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, speaking of YouTube, before YouTube. Some of the best times that we had in high school, for me, I don't know about you, but was making some of those home videos of ours.
Oh man, yeah, that was the best.
And no, that video camera, that actually belonged to your stepdad, Robin, right?
Yeah, it was like 20 pounds. Put it on your shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like one of those old news television or cameras, like the big ones that you put on your shoulder or whatever, and one of the most famous videos that we did together was the movie for school. What class was that?
Mass media.
Oh yeah, that's right. Miss Bo. You even know the name.
Lenny's
that's awesome.
Rampage.
Yes, it was Of Mice and Men Part 2.
Lenny's
Rampage.
I actually told someone about that 2 days ago.
Whoa! Did you know that I had posted that on YouTube like I don't know how long ago, like 10 years ago or something like that? Maybe
you probably got the most views from me going back and showing people and rewatching it. So,
well, not only did we receive an A for that video, but the teacher, we'd always run into her like after, years after, and I would go, "Hey, you still show that video to your classes?" She goes, "I really do. I swear to God, I do." And I'm like, "Are you serious? She still shows that video?" Like I don't know how it had to be like 3 or 4 years after that, I'd run into her like at Fred Meyer or something like that.
Yeah, I'd run into her too. I'd run her down in Westport because she had family down there too.
No way.
I'd be like, Miss Blow.
It's always weird.
Remember my name. I was like, wow, cool.
Well, yeah, you're in the credits. Yeah, of course. But
yeah.
But yeah, so John, what is the plot of that movie that we made?
Okay, so Lenny survives a point blank shot to the back of the head from the original Mice and Men. Spoiler alert. And so he comes back to life and goes on a killing spree. Basically, kills everything. Kills a sea monster in a bush. Kills your poor cat, TC.
Right.
Rest in peace. What else do we kill?
He killed a dog. Yeah, I think you killed Mike.
Oh yeah. I kicked that dog like over the fence.
And then I think you killed me. Finally,
I killed you.
Yeah.
And then I died of a heart attack.
So I gotta say, I uploaded that movie to YouTube, a while back, and it has over 17,000 views at this moment.
No way.
And
that's awesome.
And I gotta tell you. So here's some of the comments that are on that video, and I wrote some of these down so I can share them.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
So I don't know what order these are in, but anyway, one of them's like, "That is hilarious." Also, did Lenny just have a heart attack at the end? And then someone else goes, I think it was a girl. She goes, "Pure artistry," and then she put heart symbol, and then. Someone else goes, just finished Of Mice and Men in school. This video made me feel better about the ending. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Right on. Then one of them was like, Lenny is confirmed to be OP. He needs his own video game. I'm like, all right.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
This is kind of cool. Someone goes, laugh my ass off. Did you guys show this in your English class? And I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Wow, that's like great. Maybe they were in our English class. I don't know.
That's awesome.
And there's just a couple more. One of them was just simply, what the hell? And then one of them goes, worst, period, sequel, period, ever, period. So anyway.
I don't know. I can find a few worse, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's tons of worse. Like, most sequels are worse than that. That one's short, sweet, to the point, And like that one person said, they're like, it makes me feel better about the ending. So
yeah, payback.
Yeah, so we made someone feel good about that movie. So there you go.
That's good. Yeah.
What about the scary movie masterpiece that we made? I think that's gone forever. I don't know. I don't think anybody could ever find that.
I think about 95% of our videos. I don't even know where I know I had some tapes for a while.
Well, I digitized a bunch of them, but then my external hard drive died. So I was like, uh-oh. Hopefully I could retrieve that somehow. I don't know how to do it, but maybe I could figure that out someday. But
take it to the CIA. Yeah. They'll be able to do it.
They're like, what is on this? And what are you trying to digitize? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't taken it in there.
We're going to put this guy on a list.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, but the scary movie that we made, I remember we watched that back after we made it, and Sean was like laughing at it like really hard, and he goes, the breakdown of this movie is pretty terrible when you think about it.
He was getting mad towards the end when we were trying to wrap it up, and we were just coming up with insane ideas, and decided to have a glass jar of acid to throw in the bad guy's face.
Yeah. Well, you'd think that we were like on drugs back then, but we weren't. We were not on drugs. We were just weird kids, And the plot of that movie, I remember Sean breaking it down. He was like, I like how we break into some old dude's house. Mm-hmm. We find acid in his basement, and we throw it in his face, and then we celebrate at the end.
Oh, we beat him to death. We stomp on him. We hit him with the bat. And then we walk out of his house with No Sleep Till Brooklyn playing in the background.
Oh, just like everything else. Didn't really make sense. Didn't have really any plot or anything like that. It's just, just something fun to do.
Made it up as we went along, man.
I just remember the biggest highlight from that movie for me was when Nate was like, Andy! It's the best.
You hit that high note, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Have you talked to? Do you still keep in contact with Nate? I mean, I see him on Facebook and stuff like that, but
I saw him once a couple of years back. He was living near me here in Edmonds, and we met up at a brewery. Yeah, and that was the last time I heard from him. I think he lives up like near Bellingham now.
Oh wow!
Right the last I heard.
Is he like a teacher now, or?
Yeah, he was a teacher.
Right on. Yeah, he's a good guy. He was always fun to come to like the famous jam sessions down in your basement.
I know. I felt weird having someone who's actually good there. And Franco, man, get on my drums and he's like a rock star. I was like, I don't even want to play the drums anymore, man.
You had just like, I don't know, maybe like a 2 drum set. Like it was like, like 2 pieces of drums and a cymbal. And you're like, and you try to play the drums and you're like, yeah, it sounds all right. And then Franco came in and we're like, whoa, like what is going on here? Like what this is like an actual drummer. He's like, I used to drum in the band, like at church and stuff like that. And remember he brought his accordion in one time?
Yeah,
playing his accordion. I was like, what the hell? Whoa,
he rocked it.
Like, who even knows how to play? I mean, I know Weird Al plays the accordion, but I've never heard anybody actually play the accordion in front of me. It was kind of a nice treat.
I know. It's because his parents wouldn't let him watch movies, so he had to do something to stay entertained.
Right? Yeah. Well, maybe that's a good thing. All these guys have these incredible talents. Nah, I'd rather watch movies.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell.
Right.
After classes at Green River.
Saved by the Bell. Wait, which version of Saved by the Bell did you like the best? Did you like Miss Bliss? Did you like the regular Saved by the Bell? Did you like the beach house or the beach ones? Or the college years? New Class doesn't count.
Well, basically I hated them all. I probably didn't even watch them all. They were okay at first. So it was probably the early years.
Right.
I'd be like, come on, man, let's go do something. Let's stop. You and Frank would be like, no, man, let's watch Saved by the Bell.
And he'd always want to watch, what was the other one? Three's Company. He would have me tape Three's Company, and he's like, oh man, I'm not supposed to be here. And I'm like, dude, we're not doing anything crazy. You're watching Three's Company. This came out in like the 70s. Like this is nothing like wild and crazy. Like I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Well, what was some of the other stuff that mostly we would watch? I don't know, like guy movies, like action movies and slashers and I don't know. I remember watching a lot of the classic, like Almost Live and SNL.
Yeah. Yep. I watch Almost Live and Saturday Night Live pretty much every weekend in the basement.
Tons of MTV, lots of Beavis
back
and
when it still played
Butthead.
music.
You know what I remember? For some reason, this always sticks out in my head. When Black Hole Sun came out and that creepy like video.
Oh man,
Soundgarden. I always remember that.
Faces are all stretching and melting.
Yeah. Even like I heard Chris Cornell talking about that. I think it was on Stern. And he's like, yeah. Even we were kind of like, what is this? It did make the song kind of cool. Like, I mean, the song was already great, but it did kind of give it that kind of creepy like vibe. I don't know, but
then we'd sing along to it, and we'd sing "Butthole Fun." I think is what we sang. Butthole Fun.
There was like, do you remember that Bob Rivers had that parody song? He was like, it was called "Asshole Son."
Oh no, I never heard that.
You got to hear that. It's pretty good. He's like, asshole son, he never mows the lawn or something like, I don't know. I can't remember the lyrics, but Bob Rivers.
Oh yeah.
Another video that reminds me of Hanging on the Basement was the Smashing Pumpkins one. You used to always like
a song.
No, the other one. You always used to get annoyed. I used to always go like, I used to be a little boy.
Well, with the bells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that song, it was like, it like made my soul feel like depressed. I don't know what it was.
They did a lot of depressing music. What's his name? He's kind of a depressing dude.
Yeah, but I ended up really liking those songs later on. But I think there's just a combination of being in Auburn and listening to depressing music was like the double whammy.
He had that. What was the next album had like 1979 on it and stuff like that? That was a cool song.
Yeah, they had really good albums until like the last 3 or 4. I quit following them.
Well, I remember I saw them. I think it was their second to last show before they broke up, and I was like super excited to take my buddy. I was working at the radio station at the time, and I was also doing construction. And I was like on the construction site, and I go, dude, did you hear Smashing Pumpkins? They're coming into town. He's like, dude, that's my favorite band. And I go, dude, I can get tickets. Like, no problem. I mean, I'll just say I'll work the show and I'll get tickets. And he goes, dude, that'd be so cool. So I got tickets, and I felt so bad because they had gone in this weird direction where they went electronic or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, we were looking at each other during the whole show. And I was like, I don't even know what song this is. This is terrible. And it was like the second to last show. And then they broke up for, I don't know what it was, like 10 years or something like that. But I was like, man, I feel kind of bad. I was like, at least they were free tickets, whatever.
Yeah.
Can't complain that much, but it was weird. I was like, oh yeah. Cause like Smashing Pumpkins, they have so many great songs. And then it's like
each album, it got like a little more different, and then it never came back.
Yeah. And not in a good way, because like, certain bands kind of evolve and actually get better. Yeah. Very rarely, but some can do it.
Like the Beatles.
Right. Exactly. Oh, you know what? Some of my all-time favorite moments with you guys, this is awesome, is watching the weird-ass public access station, Channel 29. And it's hard to even explain like how this channel existed back then. I mean, this is before the internet and social media. And it was like one of the best tools that the community had to like connect. I mean, we didn't, but
only the weirdest people used it though.
Oh, totally. And
I'm not talking about good weird. I'm talking about the bad weird.
I mean, do you remember some of these shows? Like,
yeah, that creepy Reverend dude.
Oh yeah, no, what was his name? The Reverend Bruce Howard, or
yep.
And you used to get mad because I used to like always want to watch him. You're like, turn this off, turn the channel. I'm like, no, It would be like he'd put me in a trance. I'd be staring at him. You'd be like, and then it was like all dark. It would just be like his face. And
full face.
It's like creepy, man, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then there was that one girl who would get naked and then paint herself.
Yes. You know what's funny is I saw this years ago. I saw this. They were doing a documentary on the public access in Seattle because it was like so revolutionary and weird and or whatever. And the New Age goddess chick, I can't remember her name, but
yeah, I can.
I mean, that's not important. But anyway, yeah, she would like literally just stare at the camera and like paint her bare boobs, and you're like, what the hell's going on here?
And I was like, oh, boobs. Not bad, sweet.
You're like, I mean, she's not like the hottest chick in the world, but I mean, we're 17 and there's boobs on TV. So, it's weird. Like, right? Like we would watch these shows and, you know what my favorite show was? My favorite show was probably the slow sports guy. Remember
that guy was awesome, man.
Remember what we would do?
And I totally forgot about him.
We'd piss that guy off. Well, in a fun way. We found out that people would call up to his show, but they would call the operator and do an emergency breakthrough to the line. And so he'd be sitting there on the air and it'd go, he's like, we have an emergency call for, and then we'd be like, Randy Macho Man Savage. And he was like, and then, so you go, okay, put him through. And she's like, okay. So like she'd connect me through and I'd be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is Randy Macho Man Savage. And he's like, okay, what do you want? And like, we just screw them. Like, okay, I don't know where to go with this, but I remember doing that a couple times though. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Poor guy.
It was a good chance to work on our impersonations and break into the whole media business. Yeah,
exactly. What about the weirdo that would the guy that he had like bad facial hair and he talks super close to the camera about Courtney?
Oh man,
killing Kurt Cobain.
That was wild.
I actually looked him up recently, and his name was like Richard Lee, and he was one of the very first people that questioned Kurt's suicide.
Yeah, they're still making movies on that crap.
Yep. Did you see that last one that soaked in bleach?
No, I heard you actually talking about one of your shows I just listened to, and I was like, I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, whatever. I mean, what are they gonna do? I don't know. I mean, he's not coming back.
No.
So I want to talk a little bit about your stepdad, Robin.
Yeah.
And when did your mom and dad, your dad and your mom get divorced? How old were you?
It was either right after I was born or before.
Gotcha. Okay. So then
I have no memory of living with them being married.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So and when did your mom get married to Robin?
They got together when I was in kindergarten. So about 5 or 6, when I was 5 or 6. So about 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Because their first anniversary was when Mount St. Helens blew, I think.
That's crazy.
We're really close. Yeah, it was actually this month.
And Robin, like, just to describe Robin, he's like a man's man, like like big beard, kind of like a serious like demeanor, but he wasn't like, he was like a dry sense of humor kind of guy, like and I don't know, I just always remember him like working on cars and stuff, kind of like a gearhead.
He could do anything, man.
Dude, yeah,
there's nothing he couldn't figure out, and I was like, maybe I'll be like that when I'm grown up. Nope. Not at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Was he like a longshoreman or something? Or what did he do? Like, what was...
He worked with the longshoreman, and he would repair refrigeration semi-trailer thingies.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I knew he was some sort of like, mechanic guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was like really into like car racing and stuff, like, had all the, Budweiser beer swag and
yeah, he was a drag racer for a long time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so like, and he had pinup posters of like racing chicks on the walls, and
yep.
and your mom, she's like hella cool. She don't give a shit about any of that. Like, it's, again, going over to your place was like going to a bar. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And do you have any funny stories from Robin back in the day? I mean, I know I have a couple, and I'm just a friend of the family, but I know Sean had that one story where he talked about when you guys were at the racetrack and he pulled his pants, or somebody pulled his pants down.
Oh, one of us pulled his pants down because he would pants me, and usually my underwear would stay up and stuff. I don't know, it's because I was a big kid and my underwear is tight or something. I don't know, but his one of us did it, and everything came down. And he was standing there with his binoculars watching the race, and he didn't want to stop watching, so he just stood there, full Monty.
That is such a great story, dude. Like, what?
And there was this lady sitting like behind or next to us, and she was like recoiling in horror. Oh my God.
Oh, it's so awesome, dude. I love that.
Like, damn, we couldn't even get him back. He was just like, I don't care.
Oh, it's so
Watching
good.
this race.
It's so awesome. I just remember, like, you know, a lot of the stories with us, like, involved us kind of being kind of like, not, what's the right word for this? It was like, we definitely demanded respect. You know, he's kind of, I compared him last time kind of like to Red Foreman, where he's like, kind of like looked at us kind of like, you dumbasses, you know, like, you know, kind of like that kind of attitude, which is, you know, I think is fairly accurate, you know, and it's not wrong, you know. We'd act stupid.
So he'd always yell down in the basement, you guys sound like a bunch of girls like giggling down there.
Exactly. So,
yeah, we did.
yeah. So, just as an example, like, I'm sure you remember this story because it was, you know, quite embarrassing, but I bought my first car.
Yeah.
You remember the nicknames for my car? You remember that? The 1976?
Blue Meanie? Was it the Blue Meanie?
It was the, I don't know. I mean, I had a couple nicknames, but it was the Papa Smurf and Duke the Blue Devil. Can't remember.
Yeah, that's what I remember the most.
Yeah. 1976 blue Toyota Corolla. I think I bought it for like $800 or something like that. And
I think it was as long as I was. Like, if I laid down next to it, it would have been the same length as me.
It was tiny. And it was so terrible. I remember my dad, when I first bought it, he goes, let's take this sucker for a ride. And I go, oh, all right. So he takes that. Remember that hill in, I think it's like, it's in Kent. It's not Kent East Hill. It's on the other side, going towards if you're going to be going up the hill towards SeaTac.
Like
SeaTac
Central,
Airport. Yeah. So you go straight up this hill, and he goes, let's take it up this hill. And I go, is that a good idea? Like this, and we go up that, and people were honking, and there was like a line of cars, because like you would slam the gas down, and it would go like 5 miles an hour up this hill. And I'm like, oh my God, Dad, I could walk faster than this. This is so bad. And he's like, why don't you push on the gas? And I go, Dad, it's floored. It is floored right now. It's floored. So that was just painting a picture of how, you know, what kind of car we're dealing with here. So it didn't start out like the greatest car. No. It's kind of a pile of junk, but I just remember one time it broke down, and Robin was always awesome because he would be like, well, let's go get it. He wouldn't even think about it. He's like, let's go get it. And we're like, oh, okay. So he tows it back to your place. And
with us in the car steering it.
Right. And we take it back to the place, and we come back and we go inside, and he goes, I'm going to check it out, see what's going on. And he comes back in about a half hour later. You know, looking like
was he out there?
Yeah. He's lifting up the hood, you know, kind of looking at it and stuff like that. And we went inside, and he comes back in just looking disgusted. And he goes, gives me like a look, and I go, and he goes, come out here. And I go, oh God. So, he motions me to, you know, go back, and then we walk out there, and he goes, and he began to explain that the car would probably run a little bit better if it had, and I quote, any oil, any transmission fluid, any water, any brake fluid, power steer. Like literally it was bone dry. The entire thing was bone dry. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he's like, just kind of like, yeah, So he kind of like topped it off, you know, with whatever he had. And then he said, like, you know, go buy oil and put it in there. I don't know. I was like, okay. And remember, like, we had to always like add oil to it. And like, such a pile of shit, dude. Like,
yeah.
Cause he was like, you know,
it just had leak. It was so bad. He had to keep oil in the car.
Yeah. But he was like, he was funny because like he would make you feel stupid, but then he was like, he's also teaching you a lesson. He's like, look, you gotta take care of these older cars. You know, these things can be, you know, just junk. You know,
exactly.
So
I give you shit, but then he would.
Exactly.
Help you.
Yeah. So you know, it was embarrassing, but it needed to be said, and I learned from it. So you know what I mostly learned from that was don't buy any old pieces of shit. Buy some like newer cars that you know you don't have to work on like too much because working on cars sucks.
I had that old ugly green car that probably would have been a piece of shit, but he kept it running good until it started bottoming out every time we turned left. Remember that? We turn left and the whole car would like bottom out and sparks would shoot out the back.
Remember you put that like big giant speaker in the back? And it was like, it sounded awesome in there. We were like, whoa, dude, this sounds awesome. Like we listened to like some awesome music, just blasting in that thing. That's probably the best thing about that car. It was like, I mean, it looked cool. What was that? What kind of car was it?
64 Buick Skylark.
Dude, it was
ugliest color green that they could have possibly found. It's like they mixed all their leftover paints from the last series.
It looked like it was like it wasn't like
canned peas.
Yeah.
It looked like canned peas.
It totally did. Yes. And I remember, one of the stories that I remember about that car, which is kind of piggybacking on the last story, was, it's like winter in Seattle, so it's dark, it's pouring rain, it's cold, and the car breaks down.
Over in Bonnie Lake, yes. Leaving Mike Zahn's place. I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to do it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. So Robin, he's on his way. He comes out with the chains and the straps.
Yeah.
And what was his instructions to you? It was so hilarious.
He was like, follow the lights on the license plate. And they had been drinking, so they were half,
I didn't know that part.
Half there.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Dude,
I was shitting my pants. I was so stressed out.
Oh no, I don't think I've ever seen you so scared in your entire life because
we couldn't see. The windshield wipers wouldn't go.
And you had to have the car on for it to like defog, and it wouldn't do that. So my job was to like keep wiping off the fog from the inside. And you had your hands at like 10 and 2, and your face was like so close to like because you did not want to hit. You're like, oh my God, if I hit that car, I don't know what's gonna happen. So, and you had some close calls too. I'm like, I don't know if you bumped it at all, but I don't think you did. I think you.
I did. I was riding the brakes so I could keep the strap tight, and then I heard him shout out the window, "Quit riding the brakes," because you could smell them burning. I was like, this is the only way I could keep from like wrecking.
And it's just pouring rain. All you could see are like, the orange lights like on the back of his truck. Yeah. It was so horrible. Oh God, that was classic.
Do you remember this part though? We're like, why is it taking so long? They went on a tour of Christmas lights through Bonnie Lake.
Oh my God.
Showing us. And so we think we're finally back because we have no idea where we are. And, turns out we were driving around the neighborhoods of Bonnie Lake looking at Christmas lights. My parents who had a few drinks and wanted to see some Christmas lights. But we weren't even halfway back.
Oh my God. I remember I kept remember you like those streets, there's like hills and stuff. And every time you go down your hill, you're like, oh God. Like,
Yep. You start coasting.
Oh God.
Into the truck. You didn't know when they were going to stop.
Right. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't awesome at the time, but looking back, it's kind of fun.
People always jokingly kiss the ground when they get off a ship or something. Well, I think both you and I did it seriously. I remember getting down on my hands and knees after we got back finally, and I gave the ground a big old smooch. It was
stressful, man. It was stressful.
That was back when seatbelts were just lap belts, too.
Yeah, that thing had like just one strap.
Uh-huh.
You get out and you're like, man, I gotta really go to the bathroom. It's like just pushing on your midsection. Yeah. So, oh God. Yeah. And then there's another time we're gonna have like you and Sean on one of these times because I'm sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you guys have tons of stories together. But like, I remember one time I went camping with you guys, like out to the dunes or whatever. Where was that?
Oh yeah, you came with us to the dunes.
Was that in like Eastern Washington? Oh, okay. That was in Vantage. Yeah. Gotcha.
It was the weirdest town name. It was like Beverly, or I don't know, something weird.
It was kind of cool though. Like, I mean, I just remember there's a couple things that stick out from that trip. First was, it was like one of the first times I really had a chance to listen to White Zombie. I know that you either brought like a couple CDs or you made a mixtape or something like that. Like that you.
Yeah, Ethan got me into them.
Yeah. So like, that's exactly what I was going to say. Cause like, Ethan was always kind of like he was like the branch to like the metal. Like he really, he like with me, like the Beatles, I would like teach people about the Beatles and like classic rock and stuff like that. And then Ethan like was like the other side of the spectrum where he would, he got my brother super into like metal and stuff like that too. So I remember.
What branch was I? I was the weird branch.
Yeah.
Stuff that Sean would hate whenever I put it on. He's like, turn that crap off. What the hell is this shit? He'd always say.
Old man Sean. Yeah, no, like I remember I was like, at first I didn't know what to think. I was like, what is going on with this song? Because like Zombie was cool because like he would take these clips of like horror movies and stuff like that. And where he kind
That's so cool.
Yeah, like he took like the Alice Cooper thing and incorporated like more heavy metal and I don't know,
like electronic
industrial.
metal
Yeah. Yeah, they would have like those Charles Manson trials. Like, I remember saying, I'm already dead. I'm already dead. And I was like, what is going on?
Your head.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is going on? It sounds like a Halloween playlist or something like that.
Be downright creepy listening to yourself late at night.
Well, it's funny because like a couple of years ago, I made this Halloween. It's called Halloween Metal Mix. And apparently there was no metal Halloween playlists on YouTube.
Oh.
And this thing has like 150,000 listens or something like that. I'm like, whoa,
Oh my
whoa,
gosh.
holy crap. So,
Well, it's a perfect day to listen to that. I'm going to have to plug it in after we get off.
exactly. So, yeah, if you type in like Halloween Metal Mix into YouTube, it'll come up with that playlist. So,
Nice.
Yeah. But the next thing I remember from that trip was the famous three-wheeler accident. Remember the three-wheeler accident? So,
Yeah.
So we had
Yeah, I remember that.
So I don't know if was there two four-wheelers and then a three-wheeler, or am I remembering that
I
correctly?
was using someone's four-wheeler.
Okay.
Sean had his motorcycle, and you were going to use my three-wheeler because it was easier to operate.
I just remember. Well, I remember we like would switch off or something. I don't know. Like, and then you guys were like, "Yeah, follow us up here," and like you go up to the big like mountain, and I was like,
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I'm like, I don't know about this three-wheeler because I'm scared that it's gonna tip over. You know, like those three-wheelers kind of like tip. So
you were going down a steep hill, and that's downright scary.
Well, you guys were right in front of me, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ride this down here. I don't want to. I don't want this thing to like tip over on this thing and it roll over on me. But so I started walking it, forgetting that it's a three-wheeler. It rolls over my leg. And I was like, oh God, because it like hurt, like rolled over my leg. And then it turned and then it flipped and then it like hit like a stump.
Yeah.
And then it started doing that thing where it's like doing the somersaults down the hill. And I'm like, oh my God. It was like a movie. I was like, oh my God. And I was yelling at you guys. I was like, hey, because it's coming. It's like, it's rolling down the mountain. And you guys were like, like going down the mountain. And it's picking up speed like a big giant snowball. And it's just, it's just flipping. And I see it like just stuff is snapping off of it. And I was just I'm like, oh my God. And it finally stops. I think it hit a tree or something. And I was like, I am so fucked. I am terrified. I didn't want to go back. And I was like, oh my God, Robin is going to fucking kill me. Like the back was like cracked. There was like, it wouldn't start up. It was just
bent.
Dude, I was like, I got to go back now to the camp. This is going to be awesome. And we go back to the camp and Robin didn't even get mad at all. He literally just started working on it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, dude, that was awesome. I was like, I mean, it wasn't awesome that it happened because it was fucking terrible that it happened. I felt horrible. It's not like I tried to do it, but like, I don't know, but that's like Robin, right? Like, I mean, it's exactly what you said about Robin, where he just has that mentality where it's like, I mean, what are you going to do? I'll try to fix it. I think he did fix it too. Well, he got it to work. I don't know how well it worked.
Oh, it still worked. Yeah.
But
I mean, it was still cracked, but everything else worked.
Yeah.
That was just so weird turning back and seeing this thing come rolling down the hill, but you were nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah. Right. You're like, what is that? It's like some giant thing rolling down a mountain. You're like, oh God. Yeah. I still see that sometimes. Like I could see that image of it roll. Cause like all I could think about it was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill one of my friends. I'm actually going to murder one of my friends. Well, I don't know if it'd be, I guess it'd be murder. Not by, I didn't mean to do it.
Involuntary.
Yeah.
I think that's only like a 10-year.
Yeah, manslaughter, right? Yeah, yeah. So like we're talking about it, like no, but yeah, that was an interesting. That's an interesting story. I like how that story ends up because like I was so fucking scared. Robin was an intimidating dude, man.
Heck yeah, man. He intimidated me. I was bigger than him. Not stronger, but
right, yeah. Well, yeah. I think everybody with a beard looks like meaner for stuff. Let's just start there. And he had that demeanor, man, where like mostly again it was like kind of like every time I would watch Red and I would see those episodes, I'm like, that's Robin. Like he's like just always looking at us, kind of like shaking his head, like, hi, you dumbasses. You know, like, it's just kind of funny. I don't know.
I look back on it. I'm definitely very blessed to have had him as a stepdad, because as kind of hard as he came across sometimes and intimidating, he really wasn't. And he was probably one of the most compassionate and generous people to his friends and family that I ever met.
Yeah, definitely, dude. So what happened to him? He ended up dying.
Yeah.
What happened?
He kind of had a sudden heart attack while fishing down in Westport. He was on one of those drugs for inflammation, and it was one of the ones that people were dying from taking.
Oh my God.
So so it could have been the cause.
Wow.
It could have not been, but yeah,
so
definitely
he was fishing?
Helped. Yeah, and he had a huge fall at work, like not week and a half before that, and he just had like huge bruises, and so he was in a bad state for like, so it could have been a few things.
Wow. That's terrible, man.
Hard living.
How old
Hard living too.
Right. Yeah. He's always busting his ass, you know?
Yeah. He worked like 60 hours a week, making all that overtime so he could afford all their boats and vacations they took. And
right. Yeah. Like
basically worked to live.
Yeah. I mean, how old was Robin?
He was in his mid 50s.
Yeah. Wow.
So pretty young, man.
Yeah. That's not too far from us now.
I know.
Jesus. Wow. That's wild, man. I always like those stories about like, especially when he would give you the look, and Sean and I would kind of like laugh. But how's your mom Jean doing?
Oh, she's doing good. She relocated down to Westport where she grew up, sold the house, bought my cousin's house. Whoa. And he moved out to like the sticks of Westport. Actually, he lives kind of by where Kurt Cobain grew up.
Oh, yeah?
There on the Wishkah, Aberdeen, yeah.
Wow. So does your mom have a basement now?
No.
Oh,
but you
man.
know what? She's got a cabin. She's got a house.
What?
And she's got an upstairs apartment above her new garage. So
whoa.
plenty of places.
Jean was awesome, dude. Like I always liked your mom like a lot. She was so cool. Like she was always like super nice to like me and all your friends. Mm-hmm. So she was like the cool mom, you know? Like I remember one of the only times that I ever saw your mom visibly angry was, do you remember this time? I don't know if you remember this time.
No.
It was great.
I probably will.
So there was this one store in the mall that we'd go to, and they sold liquid fart drops. And we always thought it was like super funny because those things were disgusting. Like,
oh geez, one drop
of this stuff would just clear out like rooms, right? And I think
for like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was even longer. and I remember I think I took one of these drops and I just was screwing around. It was in the right next to where the pinball machine was. And I dropped one, but it wasn't one, two came out. Two of the drops. And she was so pissed. She was like opening up all the windows and all the doors, and like she's just like, oh, and like she was so angry that it was like all just like, because that thing, man, you can't even describe how bad it was. Like rotten egg, like
big time.
times 10. It was so bad, but like
the reason she was probably mad from all the times I had done it previously. But she would do it at parties. She'd get her friends would come over, have some drinks,
oh,
they'd freaking fart bomb each other, and then when they'd pass out, they'd draw kitty cat faces on each other.
I remember like they'd always have like their parties upstairs, but like we would be downstairs, and then we would you didn't have a bathroom downstairs, so we'd have to go up those stairs. And then the bathroom was like, it was like right to the, where is it? Right to the right or right to the, yeah.
Yep.
So you go right to the right and you come out and like, they'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And we're like, oh God. Yeah. We're like, I was trying to be sneaky and just go to the bathroom and then come back down the stairs. But they're like, hey, get over here. And we're like, oh God.
Yeah, get over here.
I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't want to go over here. I don't know half these people here.
Or there'd be some hella drunk person that some people I never met would be in there, and they'd just be destroying the bathroom you're trying to use. They finally come out, and you're like, I can't use this.
Just go outside, man.
Down.
Just go outside.
What's funny about that is we could have totally took advantage of my parents being so chill and relaxed. We could have been partying and doing all this wild stuff, but none of us were so straight edge. We were like,
right.
I mean, we still acted like we were partying and having a great time.
Right. Yeah. That's like the weird thing about us. Like I always tell people, they're like, you didn't like drink in like high school? And I go, no, I didn't at all. Like we didn't do anything bad. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of like anything like horrible. I think the worst thing that we did was like, remember like and this is not even anything bad.
Yeah.
But like you had like you just quit your job at that Oshman Sporting Goods, and you you took those fart drops in there, and you're like, I just dropped like a half a bottle of that shit in there. I was like, oh, Jesus.
And then I hid the bottle in one of their shelves just to let it marinate for the rest until somebody found it.
Oh God. Oh God, Oshman. Remember like the Super Mall, how big it was when it like first was coming out? It was like all over the news and everything.
Oh man, yeah. There's famous people coming to the grand opening,
right?
Or locally famous.
Yeah, yeah. And we would going into the front of that incredible universe where like all like half of our friends from high school worked. Like it was funny like going in there because. It looked, they had the giant TVs and stuff like that. Like I still haven't seen anything that crazy, you know, now. I mean, I guess
it was a really cool looking mall, but I don't know what happened to it, why it did so poorly.
Right. Probably because
I hated working there. So
probably because it was in Auburn.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like the second time we ripped on Auburn.
I don't know what it is about Auburn. It was a great place, but there was just something about it. I could have had that house of my mom's, but I was like, I don't want to live down there.
You're like, I don't want to live in Auburn, man. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't know why. I mean, it's nice, got nice areas.
Right.
It's got the Green River, floating, all that good stuff. It's not far from anything.
Oh yeah. Floating the river. Those are some good times, man.
Oh man, the best.
I
don't think I've floated the river since we used to float the river, and I'm always says I'm going to go do it, but I don't know any of the rivers up here like I did the Green River. So I'm like, oh, what if I pick the wrong one and we all drown? That
was part of what made going to the river, well, especially, you know, that river. I mean, I knew we'd go down there with our masks all the time. So we knew every little
free float.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't even need, you know, a tube or anything like that. Because I was like, I know which places to stay away from and which places that, you know, if it's getting deep here, it's going to be shallow over there. There's going to be a snag there. Don't go over there. You know, like it was kind of cool because like if you know the river as well as, you know, I did back then and we'd float it, you know, it's kind of fun. Yeah.
We'd be on it for like 8 hours going all the way up from Flaming Geyser all the way down to your place. Get out at the quick spot, rustle around the quick spot a few times.
Right. I remember when I first moved here, everyone was like, yeah, man, you got to go to the river, dude. Go to the river. And I was like, yeah, okay. So like and everyone was like, drinking. And I was like, okay, I'm not used to like drinking at the river. So like I went with everybody and, you know, being familiar with rivers and stuff like that, I was like, okay, well, just I'm gonna break away from everybody because there's a turn coming up here, and you guys are probably gonna hit and everybody. You should have seen everybody hits this like these rapids, and every single person like flipped over in their like rafts, and there's bottles and like there's tons of all these like cans of alcohol, and I'm taking all these cans of alcohol. There must have been 100 cans of alcohol, and I'm just taking them and putting them in my raft that I had. And I'm trying to go, hey, who had Mike's Hard Lemonade? Who had a Budweiser? You know, and like half the people were just like, oh, like nobody was like really answering.
So you became the floating bar at that point.
Yeah, totally. And so what happened?
Started charging.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. And I was like, okay, well, it's so hot out because it was like, I think it was May. You know, it was like one of those 3-day weekends. I think it was Memorial Day. And I wasn't even drinking that much. Some of the people were hammered, right?
Oh yeah.
I had, you know, I don't know, 5 beers on a, you know, couple hour float, and I stand up and I immediately fell down. And I'm like, okay, this is not fun. I've never drank on the river, and that was weird to me. And I was like, okay, that's not happening again. I'm not.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm not doing that. Like, I know some people will not at all float without drinking, but I was just never used to that because, you know, we were always. Again, yeah, we didn't do that. Like it was either I mean, I drank when I went to college, but that was about it. We didn't drink.
Remember on my 21st birthday, I went to Jack's Tavern. My parents had a party there, and I ordered a pitcher of beer.
Yeah.
And you couldn't come yet because you weren't 21. Dan Marsh was there and Sean was there. They brought out a pitcher of I think it was a Hefeweizen or something. I took a sip and was like, I hate this stuff. Now I make beer. And
Right. That's
I
awesome.
get all into beer.
So how many different kinds of beers have you made over the years? I know it's kind of like a trial and error kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't follow a recipe, so half of them turn out horrible, and I have to dump 5 gallons of beer out, bottle by bottle.
Oh, shit. Dude, I'd try some of that. I get bad reactions from beer now, though. It sucks.
Same here.
It sucks, man. Doesn't that suck? I love beer. I mean, I didn't like
I
beer.
know.
Like you, I didn't like beer when I first tried it, but it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, it tastes good. Even you get some of those nicer beers, and you're like, this is real good. And you don't even drink like a ton of it. You just have a couple bottles. But yeah, same thing. I can't drink it anymore. I feel horrible.
It sucks, man. I remember a couple years ago, I broke out. I don't know what it was. I must have been allergic to something, but it was like probably a combination of 10 different things. I wore this I think it was the time that I went as Magnum PI, and I had all this stuff all over me. I had like a wig, I had spray tan, and just all this makeup, and like all the this paint stuff, and I had it was just. And then I went out drinking. And then I passed out, with all the stuff on me. And I think that was not a good idea because I broke out, and you should have seen, I sometimes I'll bust out these pictures and I'll show people, and they're horrifying to show people.
Hives or something?
Yeah,
you had red dots all over you?
Yeah, I had this just rash, and then I went to the doctor. Of course, it wasn't the dermatologist first. I just went to some whatever clinic, and the nurse was like, I don't know, some steroids. We'll give you some steroids. Maybe it'll fast, quickly. So that can go either way, right? So of course it spread it 10 times faster, and I'm like, oh god, I can't move. Okay, I can't do this. So yeah, ugh.
I had that once. It was like a week. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Speaking of passing out in your Halloween outfit, that happened to me once in college. I decided to dress up as the Mafia Devil.
The Mafia Devil?
A Mafia Devil. So basically a devil wearing a suit.
Oh, so this was something that you created. It wasn't an actual character of some sort.
It was just going around from Goodwill to Goodwill collecting things on the way and say, oh, yeah, that'll be. And then, and so I get the face paint, and I just start going to town. My whole head, I painted it red. And this was that grease paint, that stuff that doesn't dry.
Uh-oh.
And then I was like, well, I'll do my hair too. So I get out the black, and I painted a beard on my face and did my hair. And I started drinking. I didn't eat any food that day because I was getting all pumped up for Halloween. And
oh, no. I don't like where this is going.
You ever had that red liquor? It's like slow gin. Yeah, slow gin. It's dark red. You mix it with 7-Up.
Oh,
pretty good drink, but I'm drinking this red stuff. My face is red. Grease paint. I pass out, and then I start puking later. And then the next day, it looked like a murder scene because there's red everywhere. Looked like blood. Handprints on the wall, and I'm laying all sprawled out.
Oh my God.
Still dressed up as the freaking devil.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
I like that. It looked like a murder scene. God. Jesus.
Probably had a little throw up on me, too.
Oh.
Yeah. That was the early days back when you don't know what you're doing. You just start going nuts. And
yeah. Well, and it was this one time, my friend Drea came down to visit this a few years ago, and this is never a good idea. We'd all been drinking and stuff, and she's like, I'm the driver today. I'm the driver. I'll have some drinks when we get back. So after drinking for several hours, we get back, and she goes, I need to catch up. And I go, oh
no,
I think I remember saying that to Lee, and I go, Drea said she needs to catch up. And Lee goes, oh shit. So
I did that once.
So yeah, that never, of course, she's puking at the end of the night, and I was like, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. So Yeah, the drinking out with the no food in the stomach, that's number one. That's a no-no. That's always I'll not drink until I could get at least something in my stomach first, because, just pure alcohol on empty stomach, it just doesn't end up well.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. So that coffee shop where I met my wife, the owner was really cool, and he'd have parties at the coffee shop after hours and serve.
Whoa.
We'd have drinks and stuff, or he'd have Halloween parties at his house. The very first year I went there, I had to catch up too. And he had all these bottles of like just fifths of whatever. And so I grabbed the bottle of tequila, and it's mine now.
Oh, God.
And I'm dressed up in this monkey costume that my mom sewed for me, and I'm like 25, having my mom sew me up some Halloween costumes.
Oh, God.
This monkey costume. I'm carrying this bottle of tequila around, just chugging it. I actually broke off the like thing that slows down the pouring.
Oh, great. Oh, the little thing on the little white filter thing on the...
And then the lid couldn't go back on, so I couldn't put it back. So I was just like, this is mine now.
Oh, God, gross.
I ended up passing out and waking up on his couch the next morning. So embarrassed. And I didn't know what to do. I wanted to go out the front door, but I was too embarrassed to show my face where they were. So I run to the backyard and try to jump the fence. The fence was like 8 foot tall. And I was like, I can't do this in this monkey costume. So I had shed my monkey costume, left it right in the middle of his living room.
What, were you running down the street in like underwear or something, or what?
I had some shorts on underneath and like a tank top.
So
and
you ditched the costume? Did you throw it over the fence?
I ditched it in his house and just left it. I was like, I'll come back for that later. It was too embarrassing. I gotta get out of here. And so I'm walking home. Or I was actually going back to my friend's house where I parked my car, and I felt embarrassed just walking around, and it looked like I was dressed for running. So I was like, people are going to think it's weird that a guy dressed for running isn't running. So I start jogging. I'm trying to blend in. Yeah. So he calls me later. Yeah, there's a monkey skin on my living room. Oh man, it was bad.
So do you still know that guy, or?
No, he sold the place, and I haven't talked to him in a long time. I haven't been to like any Halloween type event, and geez, I can't even remember.
It reminds me of when you said it was a coffee shop. It reminds me of that Red Hot Chili Pepper song. Take me to the coffee shop. We could dance like Iggy Pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so
man, that was a cool place.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, a lot of cool things came from there. You went to a party. You met your future wife.
I had art shows there.
Whoa. Tell me a little bit about that. You've done you do photography and stuff like that, and like what other kind of like you always like take like really super cool pics.
Yeah, I just basically I used to do photography. Now I just walk around my cell phone, and if I see something cool, take a picture or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then I got into painting.
Oh, okay. What kind of
so
painting?
I paint a lot. It's kind of like I'd say kind of abstract, lots of colors, lots of weird shit. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But It's fun. I just come out, put on some music, put on some movie or whatever, have some drinks, and make a mess.
Awesome.
Sometimes it turns out pretty neat, but I haven't painted in probably a year. So I've got like a house full of unfinished paintings just sitting here.
You think you'd be painting more with the COVID going on over here?
Yeah, you would think. No, I got into everything but painting.
So you're making beer and
actually making a cider right now. Decided to go nuts with the garden so that when the apocalypse came, I could eat squash.
Oh,
beans.
Nice. Squash. Like those things are like some of the more fun things to grow is squash and zucchini and cucumbers because they get so big. You're like, whoa, this is awesome.
And you can get a ton of it, but then you're like, what do I do with this now? I can only eat so many loaves of zucchini bread before I hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, zucchini, you could do a lot of stuff with it, but after a while, you're like, oh, tired of zucchini. And then people start giving them to you.
Yeah, you're like one of those
just
guys.
When you finish them.
One of those guys on an island. You're like, dude, this is awesome. Like all these pineapple and coconut. And you're like, and then fast forward a couple months later, and you're like, coconut and pineapple. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, no. So I have a couple of off the wall kind of questions. Kind of goes kind of with how you are just in general, because you've always been one of those interesting kind of people that I've always thought about. I'm like, I wonder what John is up to. Like, just as an example, remember you used to make hot dogs in the microwave? What did you used to call those?
Nuclear dogs. Nuclear dogs.
I used to love nuclear dogs.
Because they get all blistered and the end would split open. They'd look like Toxic Avenger's dick.
Oh, I love that. Nuclear. You're like, hey, John, so what's for lunch? I'm going to have a couple nuclear dogs. So awesome. I showed a couple people last week, Seattle dogs. They're a big hit. Have you know what Seattle dogs consist of?
No.
So they, if you look it up.
Salmon?
Yeah, right. No, so like they have, it's basically a hot dog and they cut it down the middle and then you put like, some chopped up jalapeno on it. But the special thing that makes it Seattle dog is the cream cheese. Cheese on it. And sounds kind of weird, I guess, but it is amazing. And
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that's a Seattle dog. And most of the people that know about Seattle dogs are the people that go to like, sporting events, or if you're stumbling out of a bar, there'll be like some guy like, hey man.
Oh man.
It's like, oh my God. What is that?
Nothing tastes better.
Yeah. So like that's the famous Seattle dog. And John, what do Millipedes smell like?
Oh man. So it's pretty terrible. And but if you don't got millipedes in your area, I don't know what you got going on down in Arizona, but you got ladybugs down there?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing there's I know that there's scorpions down here. I found a scorpion once.
That's probably why I'll never come visit. I hate scorpions, man.
I've only seen one scorpion since I've moved here, and it was pretty terrifying the way I met my first scorpion. How
I met my scorpion.
Yeah. So you know how like you're gonna take a shower and you pull the shower curtain? Yeah. you pull the shower curtain and I'm about to step into the tub and right there is a scorpion and I'm like, whoa. And of course, with social media, the first thing I grab is my phone. And I take a picture of it. And then I was like, I almost stepped on this, and then I killed him. And that was a close call because, yeah.
Probably my most hated, like, phobia of any creature I could think of for some reason. They look like a crab and a spider, and then they got stingers. I mean, what the hell is that? That's not cool. So anyway, back to the millipedes.
Yes, sorry.
This is very important. So find yourself a colony of ladybugs.
Mm-hmm.
Grab a handful of them. Shake them up like you're making a margarita.
Ooh.
Or a mojito, and then take a big sniff of that, and that's pretty close.
I mean, like for years, like I don't even know. I don't know what we were doing, where we were.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you leaned over and you're like, smells like millipedes. And I was like, what the fuck? What? And you're like, millipedes. And you looked at me like I was the weird guy. And I was like, wait a minute. Am I I'm looking around right now. I'm like, wait a minute, am I the weird one here? Like, and then I started asking everybody, you guys know what like millipedes smell like? And then of course, then they would look at me like I looked at you. And for years, it was always like, like Ethan's like, you got to ask him about millipedes.
Yeah.
So
that was the day I learned that not everybody sniffed a millipede.
Yeah,
before.
you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, but that's kind of like one of the unique things about John. It's one of the, you have, so some of your nicknames include Big John, of course. But where did the Big Jabita? I mean, I know it was Ethan, right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
In track, we were throwing the shot put together, and we were just making up words and giggling. And we were in one of those weird moods where everything was funny, and
yeah,
it was almost like we were scatting, coming up with cool new words. You came up with Big Jabita, and
the Big
I
Jabita.
just laughed my ass off.
Didn't he actually make a drawing in the yearbook with the Big Jabita or something?
Oh man, yeah, he drew several pictures. Actually found some like a week ago, and we were cleaning our bedroom, and I found this file cabinet that had a bunch of pictures that he drew. Sean, I think maybe some from you. Let's take pictures.
I have some of those pictures too. You're gonna have to share some of those because I remember like Franco Bacco's like in an airplane or something like that, and I was like, what is this?
I think those are from Hanscom's class.
Oh, were they?
We passing like little cartoon pictures back and forth and giggling.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like doing like real stuff, and we're like,
Hanscom.
Look at this picture of this cookie that I really like. This cookie.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no, yeah. There's I love nickname. Like we used to give everybody nicknames. I I had a bunch of nicknames. Like, what were some of my nicknames? Do you remember some of my nicknames?
Most of them started with you being fat lock, fat cock, Marino.
Bill. I had Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Because you had that Bill Clinton mask, and we'd always wear that. We do the Bill Clinton skits.
A video of you jogging down the street wearing the Bill, and some truck honked at you and you waved to him.
We did a skit like of Bill Clinton smoking weed or something like that. Like yeah. I can't remember.
And the wrestling match.
Oh yeah.
Between Big Jabita and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, more like Bill Chicken.
Yeah, Brent Kipling as the announcer.
Yeah,
we're getting real like deep here into this. But yeah, no, it was fun, dude. It was awesome. Like yeah. So
yeah, nicknames. So here's some that I almost got in college, and I vetoed them. I was on the rugby team at WSU, and everybody had nicknames there, and so I had my last name Rajcich, which is kind of bizarre, and so they're like, oh no, we'll call you Rice Cakes. I was like, oh, I don't like rice cakes. I was like, all right, that's not too bad. They're like, how about Razor Bitch? And I was like, well, that was pretty cool actually. And they're like, I know, the rapist. I was like, no,
yeah, great,
not that. Do not call me that ever again, or I'm gonna hurt you. And they're like, okay.
Oh my god!
Please don't call me that. That's not a good one to go around.
Right? Yeah. No. Like I'd always have to spell your name. Your name is like, it kind of flows if you spell it, but if you read it, you're like, okay, this is a bizarre name. Like, where does that come from? Do you know like where the roots are of your name?
Yeah. I found out I dated a Serbian girl in college. She told me it was Croatian.
No way. Yeah, because it's
I knew it was Yugoslavian, but they split up, and I learned more about my family history from some random girl I dated in college than I did from my family.
Yeah, it's like Rajcich. Yeah, so yeah, I'll never forget that.
You can remember it after all these years, but I would spell my name for the local Auburn newspaper reporters when they'd do the sports highlights from every sporting. You know, they'd put those after like a football game or a soccer game.
Right.
They'd put the stats in there, and I'd spell them out, and it was wrong every time.
That's
one dude spell it Rauch. I'm like, that's not even close. I spelled it for him, and he wrote it down. I guess I'm Rauch now.
Dude, I need to post a picture of this. I still have the first ever trophy that I ever got. Do you remember that trophy? I had this trophy, and I actually like it. So think about this. This is the very first trophy that you ever get, like as a kid. I was on the 89ers football team, so it was 8 and 9 year olds, right? And I had this football trophy, and they spelled my name Josh Maddlecock. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Josh Maddlecock. That's great. And my dad was pissed, and I was like, oh, what is this? Like, so you spelled your goddamn name wrong. So yeah.
I just never expect it to be right. I mean, still to this day. Because I can't say the letter C very good, so it always comes out E.
Oh yeah.
And I'll get do you stuff come in the mail.
Do you even get mad, or do you just accept it?
No, it's just fine. I don't care.
Well, that's kind of funny because it's funny when I would talk to people on the phone, and because I have like these phone jobs in the past, and I'd be like, hey, I was wondering if I could speak to blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, it's actually, and then they get corrected. I'm like, dude, like, I can't be the first one to have like screwed up your massively long name, or some of these names you just got to expect, don't be mad at me, be mad at your parents. Right.
Yeah.
Like, especially with people with like crazy first names. I'm like, it's really not.
You're like, just get over it, man. Worry about something that's real.
Exactly. So
Should be lucky I'm talking to you anyways, buddy.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to help you, man. I'm trying to help you out. And you're not making this easy. So
I don't want to help you now.
Yep. Well, Johnny, it's been a blast having you on, man. It seems like we just started this, but it's been quite a while. We've been talking for quite some time now.
Yes, man. Yeah.
But maybe next time we could talk about some more old music.
Definitely. The
music
man.
with you, man, was so huge. Like that was like one of the biggest, like and especially because like music was so awesome back then too. Like, I mean, that was a good era for music. The 90s were great.
Yeah, you can still find it too, but there's so much now that you can find. Right. But it's harder because there's so much.
Well, yeah, and I always talk about this too. Like back then, you had that connectability with people with music. Now it's like there's so much music. Like everyone listens to their own kind of music, and it's like, we can't really talk about music with people because it is good and bad because there's millions of songs out there, and everyone can listen to whatever they want. It's not like you're just listening to the radio or whatever is out. So
do you ever get people wanting to, and they're like, oh man, you got to hear the song. I'm like, all right, send over. And it's a horrible song. And I'm like, this is pretty good, man. Yeah.
Oh shoot. I remember one time you had, remember like the one cool thing about MySpace back in the day was like, you could have your songs. Like you have like,
I missed that, man.
And
that was cool.
Yeah. I'd go to your page and like, I was like, whoa, what is this? It's like Feist or Feast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is a cool song. I like this. This is good. Very good song. I always remember that. I was like, oh yeah. I can't remember what song it was, but it's a good song though. Not that this doesn't matter to anybody listening, but anyway, but I don't care because this is just between you and I. So next time I'm up in Seattle and this COVID shit ends, we're gonna have to
oh my God,
meet up for a beer and get some breakouts or something together.
Not a beer.
Yeah. All right, maybe like a vodka soda. I don't know. Whatever you drink. Coffee? You get your coffee shop?
Yeah, it's like a gyro / coffee shop. I don't trust places that deal in two different cuisines.
It's kind of like when you, me, and Brent would go to that burgers and teriyaki place for lunch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is kind of a weird mix, but we're going every day.
I forgot to do my shout out.
Oh, give a shout out, man.
Okay, a quick shout out to my 3 biggest fans. My 3 girls, Penny, Mo, and Lady D.
Boom. Nailed it.
They're my ducks.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they're not my biggest fans. They don't really like me, but
I
like them.
Oh, how's baby Christopher doing?
Oh man, not a baby.
Last time I saw him, I was like picking him up, like carrying him around your house. Probably not that small anymore, is he?
Nah, he's you don't want to know how old he is, and he's married, and
holy Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well we'll leave it at that. And and John, we'll definitely gonna have you on next time because this is really fun. I do have some like fun topics that I do want to have going on in the future. Maybe we'll have some tripods with 2 people at once.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Definitely have you and Sean. Maybe
I'll just be the person who ninja witty comments every once in a while, and then I'll back into the shadows. That's my specialty.
You're good at making those good one-liners, keeping the show fresh.
That's
and moving along. So awesome, dude.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been good. These podcasts have gotten really good, man.
Awesome,
way
dude.
better.
Thank you. Appreciate it, dude.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And hey, you're just helping out, man. It's fun. It's fun talking to everybody. It's a blast, dude. So I hope people are, enjoying them because I'm just having fun. Yeah,
you're good at it. Just keep it up, man.
Yeah. All right, John. Well, tell your wife that I said hi, even though I've only met her once.
I will.
All right, dude. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, take care, man.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends podcast. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. If you enjoy listening to the podcast, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow the show. And check out some of the video clips posted on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Josh, and thank you for being a friend.